The 7th Lagos Economic Summit, EHINGBETI 2014, commenced today with the theme, Powering Lagos, Real Opportunities, Endless Possibilities. It was a forum for public and private sector players to once again focus on how power, which is a critical infrastructure to Nigeria and even Lagos economic transformation, can be properly utilized and harnessed for development. It was also an avenue for Lagos State to review the past 6 summits and the resolutions done so far and the progress reports from the government.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's that moment again when we present our report card. It's easy to set an exam, score yourself, someone might say, but this is an exam that you, distinguished participants at the summit, set for us. And what we're doing is an open evaluation, open scoring of how we have fared. In the year 2000, there were 12 resolutions from this summit. We have implemented 11 of them. In 2002, there were 15 resolutions. And our score is that 12 and a half have been implemented, and you will understand why. It's 2.5 outstanding. The 2.5 that are outstanding are one, to pursue political and administrative decentralization and fiscal federalism in the Nigerian polity. That remains a valid resolution and one that also is a matter that is under discussion in this country, and even in the ongoing national conference, we expect that this will feature prominently. There was also the resolution that the federal government should uphold its responsibility to Lagos State as a special area. You will note that this was a repeat of the resolution in 2001. That remains outstanding even now. Last one where we reckon that half of it is done. In 2002, the summit resolved that it was needful to establish state police as well as a state security trust fund. The state security trust fund is within our remit, and we have delivered on that. And between 2008 and now, when the security trust fund was put in place, we have mobilized, through your support, the residents and good people of Lagos, a total of about 4 billion naira, which has gone into equipping the police force in Lagos and supporting the security of life and property here.
In his opening speech, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, reviewing how responsive the government has been to the issue of power, took time to look at the various projects being carried out by the government in the power sector, and also laid emphasis on how important power is to unlocking Nigeria's industrialization potentials.
So it is within that context that I bid you all a very warm welcome to this year's summit, the EHINGBETI 2014, our 7th summit, and incidentally, this is the last one at which I will address you as Governor of Lagos. But it is one at which I address you with a lot of joy in my heart, with a lot of pride in the progress that we have made. And if you recall, during the first summit that I hosted as governor, part of what I said to you that day was that as governor and as a team, we have resolved to talk less and to do more. We do this for very many reasons. The most important of which is that we all have agreed on what the problems are. Our resolve is to create opportunities for enterprise and prosperity from these problems. We have seen almost 3 decades of broken promises across the world, and particularly on our continent and in our country. Our people may doubt what we say or plan, but they certainly will not doubt what we do. Those were my words to you in 2008, And from the report of the summits that you have heard today, anybody who doubted us then certainly cannot doubt what we have done. But 2 years ago, we came back here to share with you the messages that we were hearing from our people, that there's a lot of growth on the continent. There's a lot of growth in Nigeria's economy, but that they were not feeling that growth. And we sat down and we said to ourselves, how can we, from Nigeria's economic capital, make that growth trickle down? And it appeared to us, listening and consulting with people, that 4 sectors held the key to accelerating growth and putting people towards prosperity. They were power, agriculture, transportation, and housing. But I think what I'd like to share with you are the micro impacts of the building of 2 power plants alone. The power plants in Alausa and the one on the island, which were constructed in the aftermath of the last summit, enabled us to employ 259 people just during the construction alone. You have heard the story of the woman in the hospital. It strengthens our resolve that women will no longer lose their lives while trying to give life to their babies. Island Maternity, where incidentally I was born, is one of those facilities that have benefited from the IPPs, and these are areas where we can make only very restrictive impact, embedded generation. But 14 schools have been connected. Lion Building Police Formation and Zone 2 Police Formation have also been connected. So we have not only impacted hospitals, we have impacted learning, we have impacted security.
In his keynote speech for the day, the former president of Georgia, Mr. Mikheil Shaakashvili, who himself, during his tenure as president, unlocked the potentials of Georgia through an electricity reforms, gave insight to how strategic and sustainable reforms can unlock the potentials of power sector, keying it to national development.
What we are doing is that we are changing something that will be much longer, will not look like us, but will always remind people of us. And that's I'm sure, what will ultimately be the legacy of this government here as well. Because really I mean, it's an amazing plan. Nigeria in general as a country, it's as, in a way, as perfect as imperfect, as it looks as perfect as human race should look, as imperfect it is, basically. Because everything together, it's really so much human energy. You feel it every second of it when you step on this land. Amazing human energy, amazing euphoric force that can be turned to good. But it really takes leadership to do it. It's very hard to tame it and to ride this wave, but once you ride it, you make it. And I remember in 2004 we started our reforms by cutting taxes. IMF told us, you know, we are warning you, we'll stop your program in 6 months, you are doing crazy mistakes. They criticized us everywhere. In 1 year, they published a report saying, we are so happy we supported the government's reform program. And so, you know, my experience is that don't listen to them, listen to your heart, and do what is right. And I saw this here, and I'm sure this is the country of great heart. This is the state with biggest potential in this amazing country. And I envy you because there are lots of challenges, but the wonderful life becomes wonderful when you have to overcome challenges. So good luck with your endeavors, and thank you for inviting me.
Indeed, this 3-day summit gives an opportunity for Lagos State, Nigeria's economic hub, to once again leverage on the potentials of power sector in industrializing our nation.